Did you know some horror games can be completed in under 30 minutes? Did you know some can even be beaten in under 5? While most of us are trying to soak in the scares and enjoy the spooky vibes, there's a whole community out there racing through these twisted titles. So join me as we dive into the world of horror games. They're not just incredibly scary, but incredibly fun to speedrun. Speedrunning is all about completing a game as fast as possible, often with some wild tricks, strategies and glitches. And while horror games are usually associated with creeping dread and slow burns, many of them offer a unique thrill when trying to beat the clock. Now you might be thinking, horror games are meant to be played slowly. That's true to an extent. The atmosphere, the tension, the fear, it's all part of the experience. But there's a growing challenge among gamers. Can you conquer that fear and speedrun these spine-chilling titles? But why would anybody want to speedrun a horror game? Speedrunning tests a player's skills and knowledge of the game, creating a thrilling challenge, mastering game mechanics, routing and optimizing strategies, which adds a whole new layer of complexity. Speedrunning often uncovers glitches and shortcuts that most players will never see. This exploration can lead to a deeper understanding of the game's design. And many horror games offer rich narratives and great atmosphere, making them enjoyable to replay. Speedrunning adds a completely new dimension, encouraging players to experience the game in a whole new kind of way. And lastly, speedrunning often fosters a vibrant community. Gamers share strategies, compete for the best times, and support each other through forums and events like GDQ. Overall, speedrunning horror games combines the excitement of traditional speedrunning with the unique thrills that come from the horror genre, making it an engaging and exhilarating experience. Okay, that's enough talk about speedrunning in horror games. Let's actually do one with my favourite horror game, Resident Evil 4. The Another Order, also known as Separate Ways in the West. We're currently playing this on the Japanese version, Bioshock 4. The reason we do this is because there's an inbuilt mechanic called Adjusted Difficulty Adjustment, DA, I can't remember the exact term. Basically, what that means is the better you are at the game, the harder it will be. The Japanese version is just on easy mode, it's lower by default, which means we're going to have a much easier time getting through the game, and in turn, a much faster time. So what we're going to do here is do this analysis setup where we're going to blow up all these guys with that grenade. I actually messed up there. Ideally, I'd like to get grabbed by one of the zombies. That way it would lower our difficulty even further, make it even easier. But like I said, we're on the Japanese version, so I don't think it matters too much. As soon as we kill all those guys, we can get the cutscene to go to the roof and get the key. Unless you kill the enemies, that QTE hookshot is not there. So this is something you'll see me do throughout the run. It's much faster to enter the inventory and use a key that way. Okay, so we're in the shop. What we're going to do is sell all our guns and buy the only weapon we will need throughout the whole run. The TMP is so good. If you played Separate Ways, you'll know you can't upgrade your weapons. That's because all weapons you have are already somewhat upgraded. And the TMP is just at a really nice level. And now basically what I want to do is just run through here and make our way to the church. Obviously, in order to get into the church, we need to... Usually you would kill a chainsaw enemy, which is quite hard. One of the reasons we play on a low difficulty is so that we can get past the chainsaw without getting an insta-kill. Essentially what happens is, the higher difficulty you have, the more likely you are to get insta-killed by enemies. So that's just one of the reasons we play on the Japanese version. That's not to say this run isn't possible on the American or the European. It's just that it's easier to do on the Japanese version. I'm playing this on Switch. If you play this on Steam, for example, it already has the same difficulty as the Japanese version. It's just for some reason the Switch, or should I say the console ports of Resident Evil 4, like Switch and I believe Xbox, are all at the higher difficulty. I don't know why, it's just how it is. Okay, so this is the chainsaw enemy. We're going to run straight past, keep running, turn around and run back. So, I don't get ever really, maybe once been hit by the chainsaw lady there. Like I said, it's just because we did a lower difficulty strat. We also got grabbed on the way here, so it kind of mitigated us missing the grab earlier in the stage. It's really one of the unique oddities about speedrunning Resident Evil, is that it's all about these sort of micromanagements, managing your difficulty, managing your ammo consumption, and yeah, it's just a fun, unique challenge it kind of brings to the game that you don't normally have. Oh dear. Doesn't matter. Like I said, the beauty about this game is the worse you do, the easier it is. So even if you get hit in the early game, you can kind of make that time up later in the game because you can do easier strats, which are sometimes faster. But here we are, pretty much at the end of the first stage. Probably one of my favourite stages. When I was learning this game... Oh, sorry, come on, man. When I was learning this game, the initial section was quite overwhelming because it felt like there's quite a lot of stuff to do right out the gate. But honestly, outside of that, it's a super easy sort of speedrun to learn. Once you get your head around the difficulty and the resource management, it's so fun. Okay, I'll be honest, this level, stage 2, is the worst in the whole run. There's not a whole lot you can do here, aside from walk from one end of the village back. Then you maybe have like a little mini boss section, but outside of going past these enemies here, which is kind of nice, it's satisfying to learn how to get past those without getting hit. Outside of that, there's not a whole lot happening. So, yeah, enjoy this walking simulator. Okay, so there's one little trick we can try and do here. If you walk straight at this building and kind of go to the side of that tree, one of these enemies will... oh, okay, you kind of saw it there. One of the enemies will throw a dynamite at themselves, which is kind of nice. It just means it's one less enemy for us to kill. I did not mean to kick that guy because it's going to ruin everything. Yeah, there's a weird trigger here. You have to sort of be in the doorway. If you're in the room when you kill the last enemy, sometimes it doesn't trigger. There's a couple of herbs here though, which is nice for us. This isn't a super competitive run, so I'm not going for the super risky strats. I'm more than happy to take all the meds we can get and just have a nice chill speedrun. If we stay on the right side here, this guy will just point at us and never touch us, which is nice. And we can just run past these guys as they fall out of the tree. Alright, so we're nearly done with the walk-in. Honestly, I can't... This is the worst stage in the whole run. Luckily, the rest of the run's so good I don't mind doing it. Okay, this was kind of wonky, but we're fine. Like from here, it's now a normal stage again. We've got enemies to dodge, we've got ammo to manage, resources to look after, grenades to dodge. This is the stuff I like. That first section, but this is pretty good. I enjoy this. Okay, we'll skip that cutscene. I want to pick up this incendiary grenade. You don't need this. I just like to get it because it helps out with a trick later on. This enemy, he will explode into one of those head shooter insta-kill guys. We don't want that, so we're going to set him on fire. And with the TMP, we're just going to spray down this zombie. As soon as you get them on the ground, they just hit stun. They can't do anything. And luckily, there's a nice bit of ammo here as well we can pick up to replenish what we use. It's a super free fight. Really fun little strat. Honestly, like playing that casually, it's such an intense battle. But as soon as you realize how stupidly broken the TMP is, it's so good. So that's one thing I forgot to mention. Your speed is directly relates to how much health you have. So if you're in green health, you go faster. Amber health, you go a bit slower. Red health, you go the slowest. That's why it's important to have as much herbs as possible, because you really want to do the least amount of time on yellow. Okay, chapter 3. Time to use the incendiary. Like I said, you don't need this here. You can just shoot these first two enemies. But I feel that terrible. If you throw an incendiary, you can kill both those enemies without wasting any ammo. That was too low. I think we'll probably get the one with the shield, but the one with the scythe usually will come and try and kill us. Okay, all good. So, this whole section is pretty nice to learn. There's a few enemies to kill. You want to do this as fast as possible. Just follow this route. Make sure you pick up all the items in the chest. I know we only have a TMP, and we won't be using any other guns for the rest of the run. But when we see things like shotgun ammo, for example, we need to pick it up because it's going to trigger a cutscene for us later, which is going to let us escape the maze. And with this enemy, you want to start killing them from far away. That way, when you run up to pick the item, enough time passes so that cutscene plays instantly. You want the cutscene to play as soon as you open the chest because it affects how close enemies are towards you when you leave this area. And you want them to be at the gate because it leaves the gate open. Yeah, that's just the optimal way to do it. So anyone playing this casually will remember that this room is the worst. Getting stuck in here with Bloody Wolverine absolutely sucks. Like I said, shout out to the TMP. As always, it's the best gun. Just shoot down that log. Get out there as soon as possible before he's even in an attack stance. It's pretty nice. Also, probably the coolest, you go in a whole area here that you don't get to explore in the normal game. A lot of the areas we've seen have just been rehashes of already explored areas. This is pretty cool. We get to see somewhere new. I'm gonna hit here. Okay. I'm gonna get hit here. Let's heal. This guy might hit us. Yeah, that's annoying. But we got so many herbs, so, you know, worse things have happened. Right, so this is a pretty precise movement to get through there. You can do it much better and not get hit. I kind of messed up, but going through the middle section of that last area is kind of tough. But if you kind of stick to the side and move in a straight line and try not to lean left or right as you run, generally you won't get hit. And here as well, it's a pretty nice movement. We can just run around those enemies as they start to attack. Usually they'll miss. Sometimes you'll get hit there, but it's no biggie because we just pick up a full heal. This lift that we're currently on, this is on a cycle. So if you do that first section better than I did, you can get on this lift as it's sort of at the bottom of its cycle. We were too late, so the lift was at the top of the cycle, which means we have to spend even more time on the lift. It's kind of annoying. It's a really big punishment in this area. And also there's a lot of enemies in here, so it is really easy if you mess up to just like a snowball down a hill, just get bigger and bigger and mess up more and more until you mess up too much and die. Also, sometimes you just get hit by these cannons and they kill you, which kind of sucks. I guess it happened like once, but it can happen. Okay, we just run past these guys. If you get caught there, there's a herb right in front of us you can pick up. I think we're pretty fine. I don't think we need to pick up any herbs right now that are at least somewhat out of the way. We'll be getting another one in the next area that we just have to run past anyway. So I think we'll be okay. Let's get ourselves a green herb. We're going to have plenty of heals. Probably enough now to get us through the whole game, I'd imagine. So that enemy that just swung at us, that's another example of sort of difficulty. Because we're on a lower difficulty right now, because we're taking damage, the enemy missed us. If you're on a higher difficulty, that enemy will always hit you, unless you do a different strat. It's why it's like a pretty nice little unique challenge, at least on console versions, is to try and recognize what your difficulty could be. If you're on PC, this is terrible. This is really terrible. Oh my gosh. If we were on a higher difficulty, that would have killed us, without a doubt. If you're on PC, there are tools which can actually show you what your difficulty score is. On console, I don't have that. We're playing this on Switch, like we said, so we kind of just have to wing it. But you can you can judge how good or how bad you're doing. As well, the more you play, you'll recognize how many heals you've used, how much, times you've been hit, how many times you've been grabbed. It's a really fun, unique little mechanic that you never even think about in sort of casual play. But yeah, it's a mechanic in the game, and it's nice to play the game around that. It's cool. I enjoy it. Okay, so we just equipped some of the normal grenades that we picked up throughout the run. We'll be getting a third here, so we'll have 3 of normal grenades and 3 flash grenades. And they're all going to become super useful very quickly. I don't even you remember this section casually, but when you're in here, you basically have to survive waves of enemies. And the fastest way to do this is just to kill them with grenades. There's 3 waves, which is why we have 3 grenades. First one is a cluster of 4. And essentially what we're going to be doing is moving in a specific pattern to make the enemies spawn at a specific rate. The second one is a cluster of 3. And then this is going to be our last cluster. There we go. And this guy, this is why we have the backup flash grenade. He's a headburster. If you kill him when he's at the top of the screen, like before he jumps down, you have to worry about his head exploding. Unfortunately, I just messed up the times completely. But yeah, that's where we get the flash grenade, because otherwise, it's very easy to run out of ammo there. As you can see, we picked up some ammo in there, which is nice, but ammo drops are totally random. If you run out of ammo and the headburst is there, you're kind of done for. Another mechanic I've been doing throughout the game that I haven't really explained are quick turns. Obviously, you can do like a 180 quick turn by holding back and pressing A, but just like then, what you can do is if you use the right analog stick through the camera and then aim your gun, you'll do an even faster quick turn. And that way you can make your corners faster, or change direction faster. It's a pretty nice little mechanic, and it really turns this game into more of a movement-based challenge, because there's a lot of times you'll be doing crazy little quick turns. So the reason we get the other flash grenades, sorry, you've probably seen, I didn't explain. These Gatling gun guys will absolutely shred us. We do not have really a good source of dealing with them. They do a lot of damage, they take a lot of damage. Although we do have quite a fair amount of bullets, we don't really want to waste time killing them, especially when they're completely optional. So the flash grenades come in great, because these enemies get flashed for so long. You can flash them and run past. As I'm sure you are all aware, Krauser is super weak to knives, so we could just knife this guy. He takes 2 knives on each of his cycles, I guess. I don't know what the word to use here is. So he takes 2 knives, which is nice. So you can kind of kill him really fast. When I found this out as a kid, it was the coolest shit. It's like, whoa, you can use your knife against him after, you know, he twizzles his knife so much. It's pretty cool. Okay. I'm kind of bad. Yeah. Never mind. So, normally I would probably just reset here. Losing, especially in like the last phase of the fight, to Krauser is pretty annoying. That's another example, actually, you can see of the difficulty. We actually just did that phase in 1 knife, so our DA must be really, really low. Or AD must be really, really low. Okay, let's try and get this and not mess up. It's not really hard to do. I'm just bad, apparently. Okay, cool. Easy. Never had an issue there. Never messed up. Easy, baby. But yeah, that's a really cool boss fight. But we're not done, because there's literally another boss right around the corner. Let's go fight Salazar. Is it Salazar? I'm so bad with names. So this fight is even easier. We're just going to run against this railing to lure him up this slope. Dodge his attack. And I'm just going to absolutely blast him in the face until he gets to his little eyeball. And then we're going to knife him. We want to knife him like in his forehead, because if you knife him in the eyeball, he does this weird little animation and you can't hit him again. But if you just hit him in the forehead, it still does like headshot damage. And you just that a few times, and yeah, he'll die. Super easy. It's like the easiest fight in the game, honestly. What an absolute chump. And this is it. This is the last stint. You can see Leon's doing his little boss battle in the corner. We just need to run through, do some parkour, and get ourselves the rocket launcher to help him. It's fine. Doesn't matter. Sometimes you get hit by an arrow there. It's fine. Probably, I like to usually run on the left. I don't know why I sort of went with the long route there. Probably because I'm rusty. To be honest, I've not run this game. This is the co-op right now. I've not run this game like 7 months. I'm just doing it again. As a Halloween special, you know, let's play some zombie games. Oh, come on. Honestly though, you know, I'm not complaining. I've done worse runs than this, so. All things considered, this has been pretty good. We had 1 death at Krauser. But yeah, it's not too bad. That's kind of it. We've kind of done. All we need to do is shoot a hookshot, and then we'll turn around, do a flip, pick up the launcher, and it's kind of, that's it. Just pressing X or Y on our controller. Yeah, there we go. There you have it. Resident Evil 4. Not the full game, separate ways is its own category. I prefer it. Sub 30 minutes are my go-to length for speedruns. But yeah, okay, I think that's like 2 minutes slower than PB. Which, honestly, I'm kind of cool with. Sub 30 is fine. I've not played this game in a while. I feel pretty rusty. So I'm more than happy with that. Yeah, check out Resident Evil. It's a really fun game. Okay, now that's one of my all-time favourite games. A very popular one. But if we're talking about popular horror games to speedrun, no game is worthy of the title any more than Outlast. Let's take a look. Okay, so this is Outlast. Just want to give a disclaimer. Obviously, spoilers ahead. If you've not played this game before, play it. I don't think I gave a disclaimer for Resident Evil. It's a very old game. I mean, this is quite an old game actually, but yeah, spoilers ahead. So just for full transparency, I learned this game. I learned to speedrun this game specifically for this video. I've been aware of the Outlast speedrun community for a while. I've got a friend who has done some speedruns in this, so I kind of know how broken it is, but it's a game I've never really done myself. As always, I always advise, play a game through before speedrunning it, unless the game is notoriously bad. But Outlast is a great game. If you want to speedrun it, I recommend playing it first, because you're going to miss a whole lot of content if you do it this way. But yeah, it's just one of those games I wanted to feature just because of how crazy bonkers broken it is. There's so many different kinds of speedruns. Some of them, like Resident Evil 4 for example, the challenge, it comes down to sort of these micromanagements. This game, however, although it does have a lot of micro tech that we're not going to be doing in this run, because it's quite advanced and just, this is like a super beginner friendly version we're going to do right here. But it has one stupid trick which has evolved over the years from a skip that uses quite a complex out of bounds, you know, parkour with some weird ledges, clipping through walls, to what we're going to do now, or at least attempt to, which is jump on this bush. Oh, sorry, we'll try again. Jump on this bush. Okay, we'll try again. Jump on this bush and jump over the wall. Hit a loading zone and skip to the end of the game. It's crazy. That's it. Look at this. And honestly, I shit you not, we've done no editing. That is how easy it is to clip to the end of the game. It's insane. If you watch an old speedrun from like 4 or 5 years ago, the method they used to use was so convoluted compared. It's kind of insane that all you have to do is jump over the wall. Oh, okay, never mind. Sorry, I just spooked myself. So, there's a lot of sort of micro optimization I'm going to try and do here, like jumping into the barrel, or into these pallets, for example. When you climb up, you have like a little short animation where you stop, and after you do a jump, you have a slow animation where you kind of slow down. That's because constantly jumping, as far as I'm aware, isn't like as fast as just running. But if you run, jump, and whilst you're in that slow down state, open a door or climb over pallets, I think it sort of mitigates that slowdown. So, my understanding is you can save quit to the main menu to kind of skip some of these cutscenes. I'm not 100%, like I said, this is just a super beginner route. I'm just mainly just showing this off because I just think it's really fun. There is a lot of resources on this game on how to get into speedrun, how to set it up, tools you can use to help you learn. There's so many tutorials. In this instance, I'm just following a video which was just an example of a beginner's route. But there's so many cool optimizations you can learn to speed this up. I think the world record is around like 5 minutes. We will be considerably slower than that. Obviously, they don't include the sort of intro drive. But yeah, it's cool. And I'd recommend trying it. If you're doing a proper run, for example, you won't be listening to this cutscene. You can do a crazy clip into walls, kind of out of bounds thing to skip. Okay, so spoilers, we gotta kill Billy. If you've not played the game, you don't know who Billy is. It's fine. Play the game. You'll know. It'll make a whole lot more sense if you play through. But yeah, we're just gonna keep running down these halls. It's kind of a maze down here when you first play. Luckily, you know, we know where to go. We've done some practices. That's Billy. he's a scary guy trying to kill us. So we're just gonna run past and kind of just do some sequences where, it's stuff that the game wants us to do. There's no major skips now. Really, there's some pretty cool skips coming up with some cool parkour. Kind of crazy that this horror game is an insane platformer. Some of the tricks you can do really remind me of old Call of Duty. So I remember we used to play Call of Duty 4 on the old school mode where you had slightly increased jump height. And you could do these really precise jumps on some maps to get out of bounds. I used to love doing that. And that's kind of what this game reminds me of. There's some pretty precise parkour you can do to climb on areas you're not supposed to go, which can let you get out of bounds. Some which are a lot more impressive than what we did at the start of the game as well, mind you. Alright, let's turn the valve and leave this area. We do a little jump here and then kind of jump off these canisters. I don't know why, that movement always just reminds me of the parkour scene from The Office, where he jumps off the building and just like goes flat through the box. I don't know why, I just have that vision in my head anytime I do that jump. It's kind of silly. Okay, so this area is kind of like weirdly tricky. We run upstairs, but in order to make these corners like as tight as possible, you have to be kind of accurate with your mouse. I'm not actually mega familiar with PC gaming. I'm playing this on my PC just because I owned it on my PC. You can get this on console. I'd love to give it a try on Switch because I'm like a hardcore Switch fan. I do all my games on Switch. I do Resident Evil 4 on Switch. I played most of my games on the Switch. It's great. But I had this and I didn't want to pay £20 to get it again. So we're doing it on computer, which is a blessing and a curse because I'd have to pay for it. But I'm terrible with a mouse, so yeah, going up the stairs is kind of tricky for me. Okay, here we are. This is like a really cool trick. So we climb up on here and do a back hop onto this table. And then we can jump onto the corner, side hop here, and kind of like jump to do a little skip. I'm kind of impressed I got that first try, to be honest. Sometimes I mess that up. So that was nice. Obviously, you can't just like climb over. You can't climb on that table, for example, or climb onto that fence. So it's cool. It's like I can't speak. So that's the kind of thing I mean when I say it reminds me of like old Call of Duty glitches. Doing this precise movement to get into like ledges and stuff you can't normally get on. But yeah, that's kind of it. That's pretty much the run. We've got a little cutscene here, so we can kind of just chill out. There's one section after this, but it's mainly just like a walking simulator, so there's not much to really to do. But we'll play it through, so you can see the ending. Spoilers, obviously. Honestly, after Payday, I think I'm totally going to buy this game on Switch and put some serious time into optimizing my route. I'd like to get a low sub 10. I think that'd be really cool. So yeah, maybe I'll do that. Because this is really fun. It's a really good beginner-friendly speedrun. Like, it's really easy to do, but there's so much optimization you can do to make it better. Like, the world record time is so much faster than this. And it's kind of crazy to see how much time saved. Oh, spoilers, we've just been shot. Yeah, it's crazy to see how much time saved there is just from like these micro optimizations. I'd love to learn the cutscene skips. But yeah, that's Outlast. It's a really fun little game. Super beginner friendly. I think everyone should give it a go. Speedrunning horror games can be an exhilarating experience. Each game we covered offers something unique that makes it fun to race through, whether it's mastering maps, uncovering glitches, or simply embracing the thrill of the chase. Now I want to hear from you. What's your favourite horror game to speedrun? Drop your recommendations in the comments below. And if you're hungry for more speedrunning content, check out my other videos with tips and tricks. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, I really appreciate it. Such a small channel here, there's a good chance you won't see me in the recommended again, so I really appreciate all the feedback we've been getting. And as always, enjoy the rest of your day, happy Halloween, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.